possibilities that remain for the playoffs, but they are shrinking by the second. Look, Dallas clobbering Washington, assuming they hold on. Dallas will be the 2. That'll have Philly be the 5 seed. They will go to Tampa Bay, and the 3 seed then would belong to Detroit. And with Green Bay now just beating Chicago moments ago, it means the Seahawks are done, the Saints are done, and all that's left to be decided is the Packers and the Rams. They're both in. Who will be the 7? Who will be the 6? If the Rams hang on and beat San Francisco, Green Bay will be the 7 seed, and it'll be the Rams in the 6th spot. And as you say, Matthew Stafford would go back to Detroit in the first round of the playoffs. Take a look here on the AFC side. The one matchup we know for the playoffs that's set, the Texans win the AFC South. They will host the Cleveland Browns. We know that the Chiefs are going to be the 3 seed. They will host one of these 3 teams. It'll only be the Buffalo if Buffalo ends in a tie tonight. Otherwise, you know the stakes tonight. It's for the AFC East title, and watching with keen interest Pittsburgh, because if Miami wins, Pittsburgh will be going to Kansas City. If Miami loses, it'll be Pittsburgh going to Buffalo, and it'll be Miami who has to go to Arrowhead Stadium. And what's the difference between the two in this wild card here? Winning the AFC East or getting the wild card? Statistically significant. If Buffalo can win the AFC East, our PFF model says they got a 27% shot of going to the Super Bowl, winning the AFC. The Dolphins, meanwhile, if they win the division, 16% to win the AFC, only 6% as a wild card. So big statistical stakes tonight, too. Let's take a look at this. These are the odds each week to win the AFC South. Another way of looking at this, the Texans just 6 weeks ago were coming off a loss to the Jags. They were 2 games behind in the division, and our PFF model had them at just 34% to make the playoffs. Remember, after that, they still had to deal with the Stroud injury, a loss to the Jets, but they stringed together a couple wins to end the season. They clinched the wild card last night, but then, as you say, they got that help from the Jags. The Jags right here 6 weeks ago were 96% to make the playoffs. All they could do was beat Carolina. They lost every other game the rest of the way. They get caught in the division. They fall out of the playoffs. A 96% playoff chance 6 weeks ago ends at 0. And here's the wild and torturous thing for the Jags fans. At this point last year, they were just 3% to make the playoffs. They won 5 straight to end it, and they made the playoffs. They were a 96% team. They lost out. A 3% team, they made it. That's torturing your fan base.